From Studio 3B in New York, here again is Jane Pauley.
Returning to our story, Randy the magician doesn't believe in paranormal phenomena. You've heard him explain what he says is fakery and fraud and faith healing, and watched him bend a spoon not with psychokinetic powers, but with a simple trick. But many do believe in a form of magic we can't explain, including some men of science. Will they make believers of you? Once again, here's Lee Thompson.
So is James Randi right? Is it possible we are limited merely to our 5 senses? And if that's true, why do so many people believe we have the power to see into the future, to get answers from the stars, to read each other's minds?
If they knew a little more about the real world that science has discovered and refined for us, they would then not believe in the nonsense.
Randy's wrong.
That, in just 2 words, is what they think of Randi at the Institute for Parapsychology in Durham, North Carolina. Richard Broughton, executive director.
There is something that we can, for lack of a better term, label psychic ability. People do seem to be able to acquire information without using their senses.
Is Randy the wrong person to be challenging this parapsychology?
I would say that James Randi certainly does know what he's talking about within his own area of expertise, which is magic and conjuring. But he's shown himself to be out of his depth when he's trying to evaluate scientific research.
Randy says he's willing to be shown, and he's put up a substantial prize to anybody who can prove that parapsychology works. Nobody's claimed that prize. Why not?
Well, he's always got a way out. James Randi could look at our lab and he would find some reason for saying that it doesn't meet his standards.
What's wrong with playing by his rules instead of yours?
Because he advertises himself as a charlatan, and he knows nothing about science.
Here in Durham, researchers have been seriously studying parapsychology for nearly a century, and they've met with their share of frauds, like this woman who claimed to be able to lift a chair with her mind. But they claim they have found some evidence to support 2 areas of parapsychology: psychokinesis, the power of mind over matter, and extrasensory perception. And it is ESP that has aroused the greatest interest.
Hi, Lee. How are you feeling?
We decided to take the ESP test the Institute uses in its research. Producer John Reese was shown a movie scene in one room, then tried to communicate it to me as I listened to seashore sounds and was bathed in pink light in another room. After an hour and a half of heavy concentration.
So it's the Titanic.
I didn't get it.
Of course, our test by itself does not prove that ESP doesn't exist.
It's a rather difficult, elusive human ability to study, but that doesn't mean that we can't study it.
Even though John and I didn't succeed, Broughton says over the years, subjects have connected at a rate greater than chance would allow. He says that's ESP, but he admits the evidence is far from overwhelming.
You've spent most of your life studying ESP, and you still can't say for certain that it exists.
Well, I mean, in fact, I would say that ESP exists to my satisfaction, and I have seen enough evidence to say that what we call ESP is there.
We will say this. There was evidence of something weird going on during our interview. That flash you saw from our lights, that's not supposed to happen.
We have...
Well,
I see it in my lifetime now.
this is weird.
This is weird.
A paranormal event? We'll never know. While Broughton and Randi disagree on whether psychic power is real, even Broughton concedes that much of what passes as paranormal is bunk. And anyone who uses a crystal ball or tarot cards is likely to make your money disappear. But wait a minute. How is it that psychics seem to know so much about us? Well, listen carefully.
In a way, it's good, and in a way, it's not.
After talking to Randi, we sent Dateline staffers out with hidden cameras to fortune tellers we picked out of the yellow pages. We found they're often so general, they can't be wrong.
At a party, you can be the life of the party or someone that sits in the back. In a way, you feel comfortable with it, and then again, you don't feel comfortable with it. but you have boring days and you have good days here.
Yeah.
You find out upon analysis, they were moving around, they were dodging, they were moving from side to side, trying various approaches.
Just watch our fortune teller, who told us he has a gift for seeing into the future.
And you're also going to get a car.
I have a car.
Another one.
Mine's brand new.
Another one.
Another brand new car?
Another one.
And for that, we paid $70.
Beware the obstacles and stumbling blocks that are around you now.
3 times we sent Dateline staffers to see this tarot card reader, also chosen at random.
Have you ever tried to work with crystals to clear up the auras or clear up the negativity that's around you?
And 3 times she found negativity that positively required candles, crystals, and a lot of cash
I'd work on you for 3 days and also give you a package that would be $300.
to make the negativity disappear. Later, she told Dateline her readings are accurate and she has the ability to predict. Of course, you don't have to pay $300 for this kind of information. Among the psychic's predictions for last year in tabloid newspapers, Rush Limbaugh would become a Democrat, Frog's Legs would become a fast food rage, and Socks the cat would become a kidnapping victim. Granted, you may think tabloid predictions are just so much smoke, but every day millions of people are deadly serious about reading their horoscope. Can we get advice from the stars? We decided to do a little experiment with 12 students from Queens Community College in New York City.
This is highly personalized material that's in here.
Weeks earlier, we asked the students to give us their names, dates, and places of birth. Then we introduced Randi as an expert on astrology who had done individualized horoscopes for them.
All right, folks, please open up your envelopes and read the horoscope that has been generated for you.
Randi then asked the students to rate their horoscopes from 0 to 5 for accuracy.
4 meaning good and significant. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
The students were impressed. 8 of 12 rated their horoscope a 4.
Here, and how about 5? Very good, highly significant.
And the rest gave their personalized horoscope the top rating possible, a 5.
Now, as a further part of the experiment, would you take your horoscope that you were given and hand it over your shoulder to the person directly behind you?
Now watch the faces of the students as they realize they've been had.
It doesn't take it long for the truth to come out, does it? Each and every one of you has been given exactly the same horoscope.
The only thing Randi did was change the order of the sentences, which he says came from other horoscopes. Sentences like, you are willing to help others. You have a strong need for other people to like you, and health circumstances can be important. In fact, Randi claims if you pick up any horoscope and read another sign, you'll find it can apply to you.
So take it from me. It's nonsense. It always has been. It's 4,000 years old. That just shows you how long nonsense can last and be respectable.
But if Randi came thinking he would convince these students it's nonsense,
I've always have believed in it. It's always worked for me.
he didn't have much success. And that, Randi says, is his biggest frustration.
They go right back into it and they say, I'm going to figure out what went wrong. Jupiter was in Sagittarius. It was too warm. It was too this, that, and the other thing. But they never disbelieve.
So the next time someone offers to look into a crystal ball for you, Randi says, watch out if they claim they can cure everything. Their theory can't be examined, or you must believe in what they do in order for them to succeed.
You know, you may be right.
But even Randi has accepted that people's willingness to believe is far greater than his power to persuade. That doesn't mean he won't keep trying. People all over America are going to watch this and say, James Randi doesn't know what he's talking about.
Everyone's welcome to their opinion. If you can prove to me that I'm wrong, step right up. There's a big line up here. I'll take you one-on-one, one at a time.
According to the Committee for Scientific Investigation for Claims of the Paranormal, the business of paranormal phenomena is one of the fastest growing in the country. And when you add up all the hotlines, columns, personal consultations, and shows, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry.